What's going down, my friends? Mr. Jonathan Budd, and I am loving making this video for you right now. And let me tell you why. Because it's September 29th, and it's finally summertime in San Diego. It's kind of silly, but anybody else notice some strange things going on with the climate this summer? San Diego had no summer. I mean, it was just cloudy, and then I'm hearing about all these other places having these crazy heat waves, and it was a little strange, but the sun came out, so thank you. Anyways, the point of today's video is to teach you something that is so devastatingly powerful in its utter simplicity. And what I'm going to teach today and really clarify is the difference between all of my teachings. Many of my teachings, as you know, are focused around warriorship. I'm going to teach one warrior tactic today that is the main difference between the warrior and the individual who truly makes the most out of anything that happens to him or her in life, an average man or woman who chooses to see themselves as a victim. And it's so important. Hey, sweetheart. It's so important. That's the little kitty underneath me. It's so important that you catch what I'm about to tell you, because it's so simple. It's so utterly simple that most people, when they hear it, will completely overlook the absolute ruthlessness of how powerful this is to change your life. Because it is indeed ruthless, and it indeed makes the biggest difference, and it's one of the simplest shifts that you can make in your perception. It's so simple, but once you make it in your perception, once you truly make it in your perception, it's the difference to living your life like a victim and living your life like a warrior. So I just need to ask you, do you want to be a victim in life, or do you want to be a warrior? Because you choose. And I am sorry, but I can sense that thread of victimhood when I feel it in somebody or hear it in their voice from a mile away nowadays. And I instantaneously know that it is a true cop-out. Because what it means to be a victim is it really means to put off your problems, or it means to put off your difficulty in dealing with your emotions and life experiences, whatever the heck they may be. I don't give a crap what your story is. I don't care if it's the worst story I've ever heard, or I don't care if it's something that you made up. I don't care what it is. Being a victim essentially puts off your responsibility in being an emotionally sound and aware being and actually understanding your life's experiences in their totality. It puts it off on somebody else. Somebody else did something to me. The world did something to me. Life did something to me. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my wife, my children did something to me that are making me the way I am, and it's their fault that I'm now powerless to make a change in my life. And oh, woe is freaking me, because I don't even know how to deal with my emotions and actually focus on life in a positive way and overcome any challenge. I have to sit there and pretend I'm an actual victim, because that's what makes it easy for me to continue living without actually having to grow and challenge myself and find the good that is truly in life. It's the choice between what we think is the easier way out of a difficult situation, aka being a victim, and what we think is the harder way out, aka claiming and taking responsibility. Now, it's a complete irony that being a victim actually equates to living a much harder life. I mean, my God, has anybody noticed the life of a victim? I mean, is it just me, or does that life suck? I mean, seriously, if you're a victim in life, that sucks. You know, you're living a much harder life than me. I can guarantee you that right off the bat. However, we think that it's easier somehow, or we just default to being a victim because we don't want to put in the time, the energy, the work to actually not be a victim, to actually take complete responsibility for anything that's happening to us in life. Period and end of story. So what do I want to teach you today? Because clearly you can see that I'm quite passionate about this subject. And I think that it's an extremely important subject, because so often we put our internal state of being off onto the world or other people, like it's ever anyone else's or the world's fault that we feel the way we feel. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care what happened to me. I don't buy into that reality. I don't buy into it. I don't ever buy into the fact that something else out there controls my awareness of life, controls my ability to perceive life how I want to. And the second we've become a victim, we've given up that control. We've given up the true control of a warrior to perceive life how they want to. And it's so funny because when you put it that way, who would choose to perceive life in a way that makes them miserable? I mean, why do we do these things? Why do we consciously, well, we probably don't do it consciously, but why do we choose to perceive life in a way that makes us miserable? You see, when you become a warrior, you understand that all of life is nothing more than your perception. You understand this. You know that every single thing in life is only your perception of it. You see, that's all there really is, my friends, is perception. You are, in fact, a perception creature. That's how you interact with the world. You perceive it. And because of that incredible power, and because of the incredible power inherent within perception, most human beings don't have a clue what is actually capable within their own perception. We don't have a clue what is actually possible within the feats of perception. But when you understand that everything in life is literally your perception of it, and you really take that in, it sort of gives one a power that is difficult to describe to the average man or woman who has never really factored in these considerations of life. And what I want for you to do today is I want you to understand that life is nothing more than your perception of it. And that regardless of what you're experiencing or what's happening, we are really the ones that choose our perception. Whether we want to blame it on somebody else or not, whether we're conscious of it or not, even if we're unconscious of why we perceive the world the way we perceive it, if we're unconscious of why we blame people, of why we get angry, of why we have all these emotions that are negative and really only cause us to suffer and people around us to suffer, and we don't even really want them, but nevertheless they're there. If we're unconscious of all these things, then we're failing to realize that we are choosing to perceive life in a certain way that creates those results. And I'm going to give you a simple shift right now, a simple shift that is so simple. Again, most people overlook it. Yet if you're a warrior, if you want to be a warrior, and you truly grasp the power of what I'm about to share with you, you will never be the same again. And any trace, any thread of victimhood, any thread of your perception creating something that is miserable to you will be gone. And for the rest of your life, your perception will only lead you to more places of knowledge and empowerment. And here it is. Here's the shift. Ready for this? Very simple. No matter what is happening in your life, no matter what is happening in your life, no matter what the situation is, a devastating tragedy, a simple affair, a daily challenge, a monumental challenge, no matter what's going on, all you need to ask yourself is, what does this situation have to teach me? What can I learn from this situation? It is that simple. I don't care what it is you're experiencing in life. If you approach it from the place of, what can I learn from this situation? What does this situation have to teach me? What can I learn? Your entire life will be changed. Because then that previous situation you thought you were a victim to, if all of a sudden you erase that and you simply ask, what do I have to learn from this situation? You have reframed it completely. Merely from asking that question, you will never go back to something happened to me. You have in that moment taken complete control. You have taken complete responsibility, and moreover, the second you voice the question, what does this situation have to teach me? What can I learn from this situation? You have now set yourself on a path of evolving. You have now set yourself on a path so where you will never experience or may never experience that situation again. And you're actually reaping the greatest gifts possible from every situation in your life, regardless if it's a trivial thing or one of the worst things that's ever happened to you. You've turned it into a gift, because the truth of the matter is that life is a gift, and that our challenges, the very things that shake us, that move us up, that challenge us, that make life difficult, that we struggle through, they are actually gifts of power. And by asking the question, what do I have to learn from this situation? We access the power. We access the gift that is our challenges. Instead of any other way we approach any difficult or challenging situation, we run from it. We run from the actual gift of power that that situation has to impart to us. Yet the moment, the absolute moment that you say, what do I have to learn from this situation? You have truly taken ownership of the warrior's life, of the warrior's perception. And from that point on, all of how you perceive will be formulated in such a way where you reap the most possible gifts, the most possible benefits from every single thing that happens to you in life, regardless of what that thing is. And then, in that moment, my friend, you are truly living the warrior's path, not just on it. So take that to heart, because it's very easy to overlook in its utter simplicity. Yet what was just shared with you is one of the most powerful things that you will truthfully ever hear when it comes to affecting how you perceive life for the rest of your life, and turning every single situation that you ever experience into utter power. And that's what I want for you.